Fresno, California, on January 26, 2025, at 7:20 a.m. Fresno police officers responded to an apartment complex at North Baker Avenue and Shaw Avenue regarding a burglary in progress. A 911 caller reported seeing 3 armed men breaking into an apartment. Surveillance video captured the suspects approaching the victim's residence. One suspect is armed with a shotgun that was later recovered. After forcing their way inside the victim's apartment, one of the suspects drove their SUV onto the courtyard and backed it up near the apartment's front door. The suspects removed a safe from the apartment and loaded it into the back of the SUV. After partially loading the safe in the SUV, they drove out of the courtyard but were met by arriving Fresno police officers. Officer number 1 located the SUV stopped on a walkway with 2 of the subjects outside of the vehicle. Officer number 1 gave the suspects multiple commands to get on the ground. But they did not comply and they re-entered the SUV. The driver of the SUV backed up, struck a building, and then rapidly accelerated towards Officer number 1. Officer number 1 discharged his service weapon. As the suspects fled from the apartment complex, assisting officers initiated a pursuit. When the suspect vehicle drove out of the parking lot, Officer number 3 intentionally collided with the vehicle. Officer number 3 observed the driver, 37-year-old Amicho Mancha, attempting to pull a rifle out before he fled from the vehicle. Officer number 3 fired multiple rounds through the windshield of his patrol vehicle. Amicho Mancha then fled from the vehicle and ran westbound towards the campus. Officer number 2 exited his vehicle as Amicho Mancha began to flee. Officer number 2 believed the suspect was armed and fired his service weapon. Amicho Mancha continued to flee and a police K-9 was deployed. Apprehending him, Officer number 3's body-worn camera was activated after the collision with the suspect vehicle. Officer number 3 discharged his service weapon from inside his vehicle and through the windshield. As officers approached the suspect vehicle to detain the passenger, later identified as 43-year-old Antoine Francisco Mancha, Officer number 3 seized the assault rifle Amicho Mancha was attempting to pull out. Officer number 3 secured the assault rifle, and Antoine Mancha was taken into custody. As officers were providing medical aid to the driver, Amicho Mancha, they observed he had a gunshot wound and he was wearing body armor. Amicho Mancha was transported to the hospital in stable condition and admitted for further treatment. The passenger, Antoine Mancha, did not have any visible injuries but complained of pain. He was transported to the hospital, released, and booked into jail. Amicho Mancha was booked into jail for felony assault on an officer, robbery, and a felon in possession of a firearm. Antoine Mancha was booked into jail for robbery, carrying a concealed firearm, a felon in possession of a firearm and a felon in possession of ammunition. The body armor worn by Amicho Mancha did not have any bullet impacts. The firearm recovered from the suspect vehicle was an AR-15 style rifle. The shotgun and bag that was carried by one of the suspects were recovered inside the victim's residence. The safe fell out of the SUV as the suspects fled from the apartment complex. The third suspect involved in the home invasion robbery, 28-year-old Aaron Gary, was identified by detectives and taken into custody on January 29, 2025. He was booked into jail for home invasion robbery.